Shoulders and abs, people. Let's get to it. Now guys, when you're training your delts, I love to warm up because again, they are a muscle group in which you want to warm up because there's a lot of injuries that happen in your delts, guys, and just shoulders in general. So when you're training your delts, I love to warm up my lateral head because that is the one that you focus on the absolute least on an everyday basis. What do I mean by that? Well, when you're training your chest, when you're training your back, your front and your rear delts are actually getting attacked as well, guys. So your lateral heads are ones that you're going to want to focus on majority of the time during your delt training to ensure that it catches up really to your front and rear delt, because again, they're getting a lot more love throughout the week besides your lateral head, which is only generally trained during a delt training day. And as you can see, you do not need much weight, guys. For this warm-up, I'm really using a light weight to help get my delts engaged, and then I go right into an ISO just to make sure that I'm engaging both equally the same before I go back into both arms once again, guys. So now we're moving into a seated dumbbell shoulder press, which is going to actually engage all three heads of your delt. Yep, guys, that's going to be your lateral, your rear delts, and as well your front delts. So when you're doing this movement, you don't necessarily need to warm up as you've already warmed up, but again, pick a weight that allows you to perform a very decent amount of reps. For me, I'm usually aiming anywhere from 12 to 15 in my first set, and that's to ensure, and as well for me to understand if I have strength that day, or if I'm feeling a little gassed out, or man, if I just don't have it that day, then it really kind of sets the tone for my delt day and where I'm going to go weight rise the rest of the whole training session, guys. As you guys can see, I've went up a little bit of weight here. Again, not too much. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Today, I was not feeling super strong. So again, I went with what I know I can handle for the day. And my body is a very good adaptation machine. So if I know I'm not gonna be training all that heavy, I will make sure that all my movements for the day are gonna be super controlled throughout the whole day, so I can really focus on just a contraction and pump rather than worrying about letting my ego get in the way and training for strength that day. And then again, guys, if you guys are aware, there's no one else in the gym. It's just me and my video guys. So who do I have to impress? Nobody. I'm here to get a good workout in and focus on exactly what I came in here to do and train my delts. You're trying to do when you guys are training, you want to make sure that the dumbbells at the top are not touching. This is going to allow you to get that much extra control. They do touch right at the end there, but that's because I was obviously finishing up the set. But throughout the movement, if you guys are able to try not to have them touch, it's going to have your delts be a little bit more engaged throughout the process. As you guys can see, it does say drop set right there. Yes, this is a technique and a tool that you guys can utilize in your training to make every workout or any individual set that much more challenging. So again, I did drop the weight right after that last set because again, I wasn't able to pump out a whole lot of reps. So what I did is I dropped the weight, continued to blast that same particular set as a continued set with a lesser of a weight. And then you can see I grabbed one more weight that is a little bit less. So again, the rule of thumb is anywhere from about half the weight to about a third of the weight from the previous set. And again, these may seem light, but at this point, 3 sets in to the same exact set, it's going to be that much harder to even get a few reps out, guys. As you can see, I was kind of struggling there. At the end of the day though, a drop set is just that. You want to kind of keep going no matter what the weight is and pump out as many reps as you can to complete the whole entire set. All right guys, so now we're going to move into a seated lateral dumbbell raise. Again, you can utilize a flat bench or a bench that already has a backing on it, but either way, I'm not really going to be having my back right up against it. I'm going to be leaning slightly forward, as you guys can see, and just a minor movement with the back, guys, but I'm not really using much momentum. It's mainly me getting those dumbbells under my leg to where the dumbbells are at a relaxed place so that each rep, and I'm utilizing the delts to fire each individual time. And again, one thing to remember, as my arms are not behind me, they're not directly beside me, they're slightly in front of my chest when performing a lateral raise as so. One other key note, when you guys are going up with your delts, or lateral raise I should say, make sure that your elbows are leading the movement, not so much your delts and not so much your hands. Think of the elbows being thrown outward to ensure that the delts are firing and not the traps first, guys. So think out and not up. Again, guys, grab a little bit more weight this time. So again, you might see me go a little bit more of a movement. So I'm getting a little deeper in my starting position just to help cheat the weight up a little bit. But again, I'm not really swinging. I'm really controlled. Really getting that nice pause at the top and a little bit of a negative at the bottom. It doesn't seem like much, but again, a lateral raise, it is hard to pause at the top unless you're going super light, guys. But again, I'll explain that here in the next couple sets because I do get into a pause and negative set coming up. As you guys can see, my delts are feeling it right now, so I had to step away for a second to get a little stretch in before going into my next set. That's right, guys, pause and negative reps. So as you guys can see, I dropped the weight just a tiny bit to ensure that these are going to be, again, good form. But again, I'm pausing at the top and getting as slow as negative as I can on the way down. Again, this is another technique to help add a little bit extra challenge and difficulty to each particular movement. It's the same movement, but adding that much more difficulty just with that little variation, guys. So another fun one that you guys might like for the lateral head once again. As you guys are knowing, we're getting a lot of heavy dose of lateral head here, but yes, this is a straight bar, or in this case a W bar, only because there was no straight bar available, but a W bar worked just as fine. So you're using a straight bar or a W bar, guys, to do an isolated delt raise here. And again, you're going to want to use that opposite hand, guys, to kind of keep you grounded in a sense, so that when you're throwing out that weight, you're not just falling over, of course, because otherwise you will be a little off balance. So use that opposite arm to balance yourself. And this is not an easy one, guys. You may not notice it, but yes, I am focusing extremely hard to have that weight go up evenly, because when it's super wide like this on a straight bar rather than a dumbbell, which is your typical variation, as you guys already just saw me do a dumbbell version, this one's a whole lot harder to balance the weight while going up. And again, one thing that you'll notice too, with the lateral dumbbell raise, I'm a little bit more out in front. This one, you'll notice I'm kind of more shifted towards the back while doing a lateral raise. So it's a little bit more lateral / rear delt getting more activated here, guys. But the purpose behind that is because if you were to go forward, your wrist is going to really want to turn forward in the movement. So again, if you go a little bit back, think out and back, you're going to get a little bit more rear and lateral head in this particular focus. But again, guys, this is another great lateral head movement right here. guys, going into another working set right now. I'm pretty fatigued on, let's just say, lateral head in general here. But again, making sure that we're getting the most out of every single rep, guys. When you get to the bottom of the rep, just make sure you're channeling that energy to really get ready for that next rep on the way up, and just getting the most out of each, again, movement on the way up and down. Try to control, try to contract. And as you can see, the delt is essentially fired the whole time, guys, especially when you start from that rear angle. It's already engaged, as you guys can see. It's already flexed, already engaged. And when you guys are training, that's what we're really doing. We're flexing the muscle as we're training, if that makes sense, guys. Particular one, we're actually going to, gonna attach a handle grip here, and now we're gonna do yet another lateral raise movement. So as you can see, I have my opposite hand holding me, kind of keeping me balanced, and the hand doing the actual movement, or the delt doing the movement. You want to remember, the elbow, we're going outward, not up. So outward, so that we are attacking the delt. As you guys can see, I'm like, what the fuck? Yes, this particular side, I'm not really sure why, but the machine seemed a whole lot lighter. So that was me checking to make sure the weight was the same, and obviously it was. And I just think this side of the pulley machine was a little bit smoother than the other. But anyways, guys, back to the demonstration. Yes, you want to make sure that your delt is getting that's me dancing, of course, because again, I do enjoy myself when I'm training. But yeah, guys, like I said, make sure that your elbow is leading the way and it is going outward, not up. Because if you guys were to go up first, your traps are going to be first engaged. So if you're going out first, you're going to notice that the delts are going to be the first one to be engaged. And of course, the higher you get in the movement, naturally the traps will get engaged towards the end. But it should not be the first thing that's engaging, guys. See how the elbow is going outward, guys, and not just up? That's again going to help you guys engage the delts first, not the traps. And I am sweating like a beast. Just had to kind of show you guys what we're working with today. Delt day, I always found myself having some fun, because again, I always feel delts cap off your guys' look, if you know what I mean. Isolated front delt raises with the cables once again. Yes, we will use a handle grip here again. When you guys are performing this movement, make sure that you guys are standing at a place that allows the cable to kind of be pulled straight up, but then when you guys are finishing the movement, it's going to be kind of up and then in. Some people will perform this movement and I will see them go directly inward towards the inner chest, but when you do that, you're kind of cutting off the full front head to the maximum, if I like to call it. So if you start going up and essentially straight before you come inward with the movement, you will kind of attack the front head from the shoulder joint, right where it meets from the bicep and tricep, and then it will finish kind of where your traps are, if that makes sense, guys. So what we're doing is we're kind of doing an out to in movement when performing the front isolated. Here's me getting down once again, guys. again, when I'm training, I have fun. So hopefully you guys are too at this point. For this movement, not much swing. And as you guys can see, I didn't want to get into the movement before I gathered myself, but when you guys are doing this, not much swing, and again, out and in, so that you guys are attacking the whole front head and not just attacking the front head that's kind of attached into your trap and upper chest. And speaking of, one thing you guys might be questioning or wondering is, how high do I go with the movement? Well, really, you can go as high as you guys want. But again, for this particular movement and my particular focus, I'm not trying to go too much higher than the delt itself. I have different movements where I have gone up and over, but not for this particular one, guys. Okay guys, so for this next one here, we're gonna do a rear delt cable fly. Now, when we're doing these guys, you're gonna see that the handles are now off of the machine. I've done that for a very specific purpose. And as you can see, I will grab the little pulley ball and I'm gonna put my pinky actually inside of where the lanyard is so that I can not have them swinging the whole time that I'm doing this movement, guys. And we're gonna do about a shoulder width height, so we're keeping it up there for a specific purpose, as this is gonna be a little bit of a variation than what some people are used to, as some people will use it at low to high, or they will go high to low. Well, this one I'm keeping it essentially, again, neutral, so it's already starting at shoulder height. And yes, naturally for this particular movement, guys, me getting down once again, you know, but yes, when you guys are doing this movement, there will be a little bit more trap involved just because of where they're already attached. But again, you will still find yourself getting the rear delts involved in the movement the whole time. And it's really a matter of how you're holding your wrist in this particular movement. If you can keep the wrists kind of locked as they are out, you will engage your delts before your traps are getting engaged here, guys. As you guys can see, the rear delts are getting attacked first. The traps will get involved, guys. It is just one of those movements that it's almost inevitable for the traps not to be engaged. And as well the triceps, they will get involved a little bit, because naturally with this type of movement, they're all going to get engaged. But the main thing is that the rear delts should be getting the majority of the focus. Oh yes, running the rack with lateral raises, guys. So to explain this in a nutshell, you're gonna go high to low and as many as you can go. So as you guys can see, I think it's the 65s or 60s right now. Doing as many as I can go at this point in the particular day, as I'm already a little fatigued. Drop down, I think it was down to the 50s, I believe. And then again, guys, just repping out as many reps as I can do. As you guys can see, still good form all the way through, making sure to engage the lateral head all the way up and squeeze. Drop it down again, and we're gonna repeat the same thing, y'all. As you guys can see, we are getting as many reps in these drop sets as we can before, again, lowering the weight. Again, guys, getting down to a lower weight. I know these are looking tiny now, but don't worry. You are full of blood, you are fatigued, you are pumped, but again, this is definitely serving a purpose. And it's one of my favorite ways to finish off a good delt day, y'all. 12s, what? Yeah, just saying, y'all. I know they look tiny, but at this point, they feel heavy as fuck, trust me. Again, form's still good, and getting the max amount of each particular rep. And yeah, they are about done. Alright guys, guys, delts are basically done. There's no more blood to be pumped in there anymore. So we're moving on to some abs. So here we got the hanging leg raises. Again, you know, we're gonna do a straight-legged raise right here. You're gonna essentially go as high as you can. Some days I have a lot more flexibility than others, but realistically the goal is to get it at least to your head, if not above. Some people will touch. Ooh, there's a little variation that I will add in from time to time, guys. And what I'm doing is when I'm going out like that, guys, I'm actually squeezing my glutes and activating my lower back as well. So I'm just getting a little extra work in there since I'm already in position to see. As you guys can see, I keep doing it. But again, guys, it's a little trick that I do to help get those lower back and as well those glutes strided. Another ab movement and variation you guys might want to toss into your training would be a reverse bench crunch. And as you guys can see, the ass is going to be about halfway on the bench. You're going to utilize your hands to stabilize you, and you're going to essentially be moving from the knee and kind of throwing it into your neck, if that makes sense. You're throwing it into your upper chest. You don't want to bring it right to you, but rather bring it upward, and then you're going to bring your chest to your knees, and it's going to create a kind of reverse crunch. And as you can see, the abs are popping through the shirt already. So again, guys, see how the ass is almost halfway off, if not almost all the way off. The wrist and hands are helping me stabilize, and it's kind of like you're doing like an accordion type of movement. And here's another variation, guys. So now I'm gonna get the obliques kind of in play as I'm doing side to side now. So again, this is something I will do just to kind of continue to mix it up and get my whole core and abdominals engaged. And I do believe I'm gonna finish off here in a second with some straight on ones here just to finish it off. Yep. As you can see, we ain't looking too bad at this point. And that is a wrap.